Summary, there are two types of people in this world, lumberjacks and those that dress like them. And living on the range, that's one thing that I really like. People are genuine, sincere, and cut right to the chase.
Well, welcome to the entry-level and advanced-level welding programs we have on our campus. We provide extraordinary education here because we change student lives. That's my theme for this presentation, is changing student lives. Talking about, we try to do learning that's as close to real life as possible. You know, this isn't a simulator here. You have to go work at heights in this wind turbine, and you can see it there behind the school. One of the neat things that my students have got to do as we built this was help. You know, we worked with the contractors that donated their time to put the turbine up, and the unions to make sure that this was going to be okay.
Other ways that we can bring visibility leads to value. Find public spaces to display their artwork. Display it to students. Display it to faculty. There's 2 collaborative works in the college right now, one here and one down by the theater department.
So that's one of my strategies for extraordinary education. Be creative, find a way to apply it, build every possible network you can. And that's what I strive to do. Thank you.
Music, I'll just go longer. How's that? Since the Chancellor has basically asked us to do this, I'm going to address the Chancellor directly in answer to his call on excellence. I think you should know who I am. I'm a graduate of our Go Technical system in Ottawa. I'm a graduate out of this community college as well. I'm a graduate out of the University of Minnesota. I have a political science major and I have a history minor. I'm a graduate out of the University of South Dakota School of Law and I have a Juris Doctorate. I'm a member in good standing of the Minnesota Bar Association and I'm licensed to practice law in this great state. I hold 3 assigned fields at this campus, in law, in history, and in political science. I've worked as a miner at the Erie Mining Plant. I was a brakeman and traveled the rails down to Taconite Harbor. I worked electrical construction down in Plaquemine, Louisiana. I lived in Baton Rouge and I would take a ferry across the mighty Mississippi. I sold cars in Fridley, Minnesota, Chevys, an old Fridley dealership. And when I enter my classroom, I bring both my education and my experiences with me. That's what happens when I open up that door and when I enter my classrooms. Students in my courses receive an uncensored professional lectures based on academic freedom. Lectures that allow controversial topics and issues to be taught without fear of reprisal. By example, look at what I do. I'm in political science. Wars are fought to enrich the military-industrial complex. Weapons of mass destruction that are never found. Scooter Libby, an aide to Dick Cheney, whispers to Judith Miller there's weapons of mass destruction and that's good enough for me, and we get into a war in Iraq. Hell, these are controversy. And if I didn't have any protection, I don't think I'd be around. That the privatization of higher education is only at the expense of good, solid public education. That the reason that tuitions are increasing is because we are under attack. Post 9/11, Attorney General Ashcroft basically made a message to Americans that basically went like this. I don't want the profs in our colleges to talk about what the hell's going on in 9/11. George W. Bush on Iraq, making a statement to an international audience. If you're not with me, you're aiding the enemy. Attorney General Gonzalez basically tells us Americans don't torture. Our antitrust laws seem to get in the way of too big to fail. I think there's something wrong there. On April 2nd this year, the United States Supreme Court upholds squat and cough strip searches for minor violations, failure to pay a fine, seatbelt violations, and protesters. The bottom line is a constant failure by our media in reporting to Americans about what is going on in America. These are all very controversial topics. Academic freedom is based on my status as unlimited full-time faculty, essentially a form of tenure. Bargained for, collectively bargained for by my union, MRC. Without tenure, no academic freedom. Tenure protects academic freedom. It allows the truth to be told. The excellence in my classroom also comes because I'm surrounded by talent, qualified and credentialed faculty all around me that enjoy their jobs. It's not a one-man show, it's a team. No single faculty member stands out. Rather, the idea is that together, united, we make the Sabi Range a great learning experience, historically and today.